Imagine this. You're meeting up with your friends for your weekly role-playing session, eager to spur on your imagination and delve into the game, creating a great story together through the actions of your characters. And 3 hours go by like a breeze. Everyone was focused. You were in character, immersed in the world, role playing with your friends. You are not you. You are Detective Uriah, helping your partner, Detective Conway, hunt down the foul perpetrator who's kidnapped an innocent little girl in your city. And by all means, the session is a success. Great roleplay, interacting with the world, back and forth dialogue between you and the other player. You take the last 30 minutes to discuss how this one shot went, your favorite events of the game, maybe even how to improve. Satisfied? The session gets uploaded on YouTube, or it's already public as a live stream, maybe, and some guy has to leave a comment. This session was middling, a lot of glaring problems, and proceeds to pick apart your game. Hi, I'm that guy. See, this is the video about blind spots and improving your roleplay. These statements needs to be true if we want to have this conversation. We accept criticism because we want to improve in the hobby we engage in. If you don't want to improve in the hobby, that's okay, then everything I have to say does not apply to you because you are happy at where you are at. And I'm not here to change your mind on that because I don't sit at your table. You don't have to satisfy me. The second point, we value our time and want to increase the quality of the time spent in the activity. And the third point, if fun is the only metric, role-playing games can easily be replaced with many other activities. Lots of things are fun in this world, and you pick the ones you want to have fun with, right? You don't need to play a role-playing game to have fun, but if you have fun with role-playing games, then there are ways to increase that. With point 1 and point 2, we want to increase the value of our time by increasing the quality and accepting criticism to achieve that. We all have our blind spots when we play games. And so, to see those blind spots, let's go through a few points. On playing, I say focus on the game. When you focus on how to improve in the game, you have less mental energy to focus on the game itself, as you are trying to both play and improve. We all just have like a limited amount of space in our brain to focus on things that we are doing as time moves on. If we split our attention, you will have the game will weaken from that. We have different strengths and weaknesses, so talking to each other helps uncover the weaknesses and improving the strengths. This is why I very much appreciate when players take 30 minutes at the end of the session to when they take 30 minutes at the end of the session to improve, to talk about how the game went, or just be able to decompress because the game itself was so intense and a lot of things have happened and you need some time to get back out of the game into yourself and normalize. This example in question that I brought up, and I'm gonna switch back to it over here. Let's give it a pause. The example in question is Uriah's UNPC. This means it's an ultimate no prep challenge. This was came up by Mr. Max Bourmois together with Phil the Frill and a few other people. They pushed for the ultimate no prep challenge. It's designed to get players out of their comfort zone, explore different settings, combined with different tones, the combination of which can lead to wacky results, but really spurs on your creativity and creativity of all the players involved at the table. You roll for it randomly, including the system, although some tables might pick a system to make the game a bit easier to play spontaneously. Not everyone feels comfortable playing up to 6 different systems on the spot like that. So maybe you pick a system beforehand, one that is easy enough and flexible enough, that fits a large range of different genres. So it might be sci-fi, it might be fantasy, might be horror, might be contemporary like modern life, might be 19th century, could be cyberpunk, or could be steampunk, and then you add a tone to that list. And the tone varies how the session is going to go. One of the tones that the players picked is suspense. Another tone could be action. I think horror would fit better as a tone than as a setting. So you might pick fantasy horror. Or you might get, let's go for another example. You might get, I said science fiction already. I'm looking for something else. Steampunk drama. That could also be something you roll up on. The players here, let's go back, wrong slide. Alright, the players here, they have established the premise and start playing the game with it's a modern day, it's a crime suspense game. So crime, they've established they are playing 2 detectives that will go on a hunt, right? The 2 detectives looking for a missing little girl in this game, and suspense being that there is always a tension. And as the game goes on, it slowly changes from suspense to leading into action, which I think is fine. It's a great point to start off with what you roll up, and then you go from there of where it wants to go. The players agree to the 4D roleplay method to play the game, which means no out of character talk. I do have a slide for this. Let's go. There we have it. You state where you are, what you do. You speak in character. You do not ask the game master questions. You keep your turn concise. You vet your players. You co-create elements into the scene. And, you read the rules. You understand the game mechanics of the game you're playing. Now, this is obviously extra challenging to know the rules if you randomize which system you play. So they take it more relaxed on the rule side and focus on the basics. You use a die roll to figure out the unknown, where chance is involved with success or failure. Sometimes you don't know if the thing you want to do succeeds. That's when the die roll comes into play, and many systems have a ways to go about that. Some are better than others. And I've critiqued this game on the Discord with these players. Now, we share the same Discord of the 4D roleplay, which means I have a better connection to reach them and give feedback. And also, it is less of a case of who is that guy? Like, what does he know about roleplay? Because I know them and we talked before. There's way less friction trying to get feedback across compared to my Crimes Against Roleplay series, where I routinely pick out strangers or big channels that do not know me and therefore might not be as charitable listening to me, what I have to say, and trying to learn from it. And yeah, I've critiqued their game, and I boiled it down to 3 points that I figured out. The player was one of the players ended up inventing evidence that helps solving the crime in what is ostensibly a crime suspense game of playing investigators. Now this is pretty much like inventing a solution to your own problem that basically negates the whole premise of the game. And I can show it to you. I posted a link of that over here. And we're gonna play this one together to showcase it to you. I'm gonna use this example so we can all see what I mean. Hold on, this might be... let's see if this is the right spot.
And lurches towards.
Alright, this is the wrong link, so I meant to... Oh, the link is completely wrong. Hold on. I'm actually gonna have to find this at the spot real quick.
I trust those aren't chewable vitamins. I turn the car on.
Freak, you know?
So I'm gonna... The link that I had prepared is the wrong link. Ah, that's unfortunate. I did wanted to showcase it to you guys.
Nobody comes here. Everybody comes here wants to come here. They party. No big thing.
Man had to do his job, but that's not protocol. You know that, right? Click it.
We're gonna look
Well,
for...
I'm halfway to blackface, so let me grab a cloth and I'll meet you in the car.
Hang on. Come here.
But he's really dirty in this scene. It's gonna get cleaned. Oh, I know. So he has deleted the start of the stream, which had a lot of that space. That's why the time link doesn't work anymore.
Let's go.
Point back with my thumb. World War III could have started and they wouldn't have seen a thing. Let's go.
Fair. I mean, verbally, don't shoot anyone if you don't.
I reach the top of the stairs. My eyes bounce from every little glint of light coming from the public lighting outside into the mostly...
Alright, we have some role play happening here. This is a long awkward pause, but that happens. I believe the players are figuring out whose turn it is or who's gonna respond.
I grab
Upstairs, You, Chris.
I grab one of the bottles. It's a thin red liquid. I unscrew it and carefully smell it. That's
Acrid. For your small beam of flashlight. Wooden stairs with no railing, head down. And the cool air
There we go.
below hits you.
This is the staircase leading to
Arm
the
up.
basement.
pistol in hand, like I learned back in my days as a rookie. Slowly, step after step.
Now I don't have a problem with this, so this is good roleplay, right? Adam is being the game master in this game, describing the staircase, and Uriah takes his turn, describing what his character does, where the character is, by the staircase, going down, acting in character. And now Adam, instead of responding, he wants Conway to do something. So they go in a circle, more often than not.
Going down the hallway,
There we go.
I once more turn to the last door. There's only one last door to open. I'll tell you, kid, you'll never find a nicer cop than me. I know how it is. Got a sick mom or something, selling drugs to go by. I get it. I was like you. I'll tell you what. Open the door and step back with your hands up. I'll tell you how to get out of here. No reason to get in jail just because you can't afford food.
Now, this points to another problem I have with this session that I've written down. Where is it? This is what I would call turnflation. Now, he's talking in character, right? But Conway is saying way too much in character. So let's go back, and I will tell you when I would say that's when you stop and let the game master answer.
A nice door to. Going down the hallway, I
Describing what he does.
once more turn to the last door. There's only one last door to open.
He's like doing a 4D element. That there are no more doors here. Now this might be a bit much because maybe Adam had a different concept in mind for what the house looks like. But I think this is okay that he is like reached the last door. It adds to the dramatic flair.
I'll tell you, kid, you'll never find a nicer cop than me. I know how it is. Got a sick mom or something, selling drugs to go by. I get it. I was like you.
I would stop here. I was like you. I get it. You will find no nicer cop than me. And stop here, right? You stop here because you've said more than enough on your turn. Everything else he's saying is reinforcing the same idea of the conversation. But also allow the game master for the NPC to respond, for the other player on your table to respond. And the game master is as much as a player as you are. So you can continue the monologue, but you hand over the turn first before you continue narrating what you wanted to say.
I'll tell you what. Open the door and step back with your hands up.
So that is just like too much. Too many words. Shorten it down. I'm gonna skip ahead and see if I can find the basement scene.
There's thuds against the body. as you hear, "My nose!"
Sure.
Holds a pistol.
They're fighting. They're having to
As
fight.
you scan.
The box. And I move the blanket out of the way and open up the box.
Ah, there we go. This is the scene.
More lamp.
So let's listen to this. My problem here is inventing evidence as a player that helps solving the crime.
In the basement, you notice a chain hanging down above or below a little lamp, and some barrels and a few more boxes to the side. As you
Barrels, boxes, a lamp.
scan, revealed by your flashlight scans.
I walk over to a barrel, and a box. The boxes, and I move the blanket out of the way and open up the box.
We are in character. We know where he is. He's by the barrels, by the boxes. It's a bit unclear, like where in the basement. But it's okay so far.
Box.
Now he has ended his turn. Now this is a great turn. Moves towards the boxes and tries to open them, waiting for a response from Adam.
Clothes. Women's clothes.
I reach into the box, digging through, and I find a balled up gold necklace with a heart pendant on the end. I open it up, see a picture of our missing girl with her mommy. Close it. Put it in my pocket.
What happened, guys? What happened here? Let's see. There we go. The Game Master described women's clothes in a box. And the player describes he invents a necklace that is inside the box with the women's clothes, with a picture of the victim. This is what you would call a silver bullet. If you ever needed somebody to be guilty, you have everything now. The clothes, the necklace, the picture, bam. Case solved. Now, you still need to find the little girl in the game, right? But this is a violation of 4D roleplay. This is inventing power, so to say. You invent the solution to your own problem. And that was my critique point that I brought up to the players. Now, as you can see, if you do that, then every crime game you play, you can just solve yourself. At which point, you are violating the terms you agreed to of the Game Master. Is the world and the NPCs. And the players play their character. But now the players are inventing the solutions to their own problem. So what is the Game Master even here for? You know? And I found this incredibly funny. But well, it happens. I think it's okay that it happened in a game, you know, as as crimes against roleplay goes, this is a new one to me. To give another example, myself played in a game with Nicholas, my partner that we do a few videos together with, and we did a practice session to test out a system. And while we tested out the system, we were also doing 4D roleplay, and it just happened to be also a criminal investigation, but in our case, we are hunting down a renegade wizard in like modern day America. And for that, we arrived in a village, like out in the boonies, that is more, that is much more rural, with inside a forest. And I also foredeed evidence, but instead, here's the difference. I found some mushrooms growing up nearby a tank station, like in the concrete. Now this is what I've invented and not the game master. So I pick up the mushrooms. I'm quizzing why they would grow there. I go back into my car. In the meantime, the other players are inside the diner of the tank station, having a conversation with an NPC. In the car, I ruminate on the mushrooms. I'm making notes in my notebook. I'm taking like good 3 or 4 turns to go through those. Like every time it's my turn, everybody gets to do something. When it's my turn, I add what I'm doing with the mushrooms and taking the notes, bagging them in a zip bag. And when the players came back to me, I invent that these mushrooms should not grow here. It's not that the mushrooms are abnormal. They could technically grow in the area. But what is abnormal is like being like right by the tank station, like out in the open. It's the amount of mushrooms. Because, and this is also an element I am foreseeing, again at this point, having allowed the game master multiple points to interject, add information, change the evidence. I've added the mushrooms grow up and explode in reproduction rate, right? By how many grow in a given area based on how much magic has been involved, has been cast. So if a visitor is nearby casting magic, the mushroom population will explode of this specific specimen. And there you go. Now we have evidence that the wizard is in this village somewhere in the area. It's not a silver bullet. It doesn't solve the crime. But it supports the idea that we are on the right track. And I'm giving tools, informations for the game master to play with, to change, to adapt. Maybe there's another reason the mushrooms grow here. It doesn't say that it's true that the wizard is in this location. It could be another thing that has another magical element, or a second wizard that was casting spells here. That is not our original target. And this is how I would say you can do a very much a similar thing of co-creating elements to support the game you're playing and help out the game master to not come up with every single piece of evidence, not to have to come up with the whole quest, so to say, without sabotaging any prep, so to say, right? All right. So those were my points. Let's see, I'm gonna check my notes if I had anything else written down that I want to bring up. Yeah, that's about inventing evidence as a player that helps solving crime. The other point was turnflation, and I believe this was a problem later on in the session. Turnflation meaning you take a turn and then you do something else and you add something else and you add something else. It's like the easy chaining, the things you want to do from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. But I urge you to keep the turns short, and we can look at the video, see if we find a quick example. And the last point is skipping the game master's turn constantly, which which happened a lot. And I believe in the session ends when they are discussing after the game, they pretty much agreed with this point themselves as the players. And you guys can watch the stream. It's called the Ultimate No Prep Challenge with Adam Conway and Uriah. Let's see if this is visible in the video. I'm gonna show it to you without the camera real quick. There you go. You can read the title. So check out Uriah Edwards, the Wednesday Ultimate No Prep Challenge with Adam Conway and Uriah. There you go.
You know what we do to fucking creeps like you?
I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Barn.
I put my back against the truck. I'm listening. I'm looking back, knowing that I have backup coming up.
He's taking a turn, like where he's saying where he is. Now, because it's a small group, he's like explaining a little bit of his thought process. I think this is fine, but it depends on your group. You decide like as a group. You can decide as a group of how much explaining your thoughts you are okay with at the table. I recommend you do it sparingly, because if you do it too often, you end up feeling like an anime that has like a constant internal monologue being spoken out loud, which can get quite jarring.
You know what we do to fucking creeps like you?
So that's his turn. You know what we do to creeps like you. I would say, yeah, you can add another line. That's fine.
In the day, if we got my hands on you, man, be it in the street or in the prison, we fucking gut you like a fish.
Okay, I would stop here, right? You know what we do with creeps like you? Back in the streets or even in prison, we would gut you like a fucking fish. That's a great turn.
I'm gonna do that.
Okay, stop.
I come up from behind, gun trained on him. I say, "Drop it, fatso."
We got now this is a one turn. He comes up, he trains his gun on him, and he says it the line.
Waistband, he pulls a terrible looking fillet knife and just grins, lets out a horrible guttural laugh. And lurches towards you.
Hearing the rumbling on the ground, I peek back from under the truck and aim down sights.
He's doing an aim actions, like, yeah, he's using the system they agreed with to help him roll the die.
I'll try to shoot, but my friend is on the way. I try to not hit him either.
Oh, okay, so if you aim, that is your turn, so you would shoot the next turn. So he just ended up saying the word. It made me think of a roll, but he should not get any bonus.
4.
Blasting a hole between his shoulder blades. He wobbles, but continues
Caught up in the
his
moment.
advance.
Caught up in the moment.
Now, I would say give the Game Master, be a bit more patient. Allow the Game Master to narrate what is happening.
Autopilot takes over, and I unload. But the chaos of the moment, my eyes shut, and I start firing wildly.
I see Conway is waiting for Adam to respond to the scene.
He advances on you with surprising speed for a man of his size and lunges forward, bared teeth and a horrible grin, stabbing at your midsection. Roll armor.
I feel the blade in my gut, and my breath escapes, and I'm frozen. I say, Nick.
All right, there we go. I'm gonna leave it at here. If you want to see more of the session, I'm gonna keep the link in the video for you to check it out. Overall, the session wasn't too bad. And they asked me to review the game, and so I did. And it was quite funny to give them some honest critique, because I was very much down to praise them all. That, like, how good of a game they were playing, but little things stuck out to me. Now, in the sample size I've shown you, I would say like the turnflation was not a problem in the clips we've seen right now. But you can watch the whole session and let me know if you agree. And we talked about it on the Discord, and I got nice replies. Pretty much like the players ended up agreeing with me, which of course it's great for my ego, but I just want to help them improve in their roleplaying. I would like to read out the last comment I got from Uria about this whole conversation after we talked. He took some time to watch the session again and see what I mean. And here is what he had to say. Okay, wow. I went back and revisited our last UNPC after our conversation, and holy crap, did I royally screw up on that one. There were entire turns where I was essentially game mastering myself. I don't even know how I didn't notice it. How I did notice it in the moment. My goal for the next session is to really simplify my turns, and only say where I am, what I'm doing, and what I say. Thanks again for calling it like it is. And there you go, guys. This is how you improve at roleplay and how you deal with blind spots. Yeah, if you're at the end of the video, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you feel like it, you can watch my Lich's Drax games on YouTube, which is in the live section, where I GM a D&D campaign about a tribe of orcs. marauding through the world. And it's really interesting because the players are playing monstrous races, an orc, a half-orc, a goblin, and a lizard folk. And they are brutal. No holes are barred. So it's exciting for me to play. I hope it will be exciting for you to watch. With that, I'm gonna let you guys off. Have a good day.